Recording in progress. Hello, everybody. Let me just get the music off. You can't hear it, but I can, and I find it off-putting, so I'm going to get rid of that. A very, very, very warm welcome wherever you're from, wherever you're joining us from today. I've got another hour with some of my favorite people. With Mahoney 2.0, it's probably Mahoney 6.0 with with me though, isn't it? Really, the things that have been going on and the changes in my life. Holy shit. It's it's insane. Is that too bright? Is that a little bright? Let me see if I can play with that a little bit. It looks a little bright to me. Adjust the background. Up here. What's this now? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah. But the camera angle is good. The picture's good. Behind me in the background is a snapshot of Rhondda, one of my favorite places. We did that on the show. Did you like the episode we did of Decoding Andalusia? Did you all see it? Where we traveled around Andalusia. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it, guys. What's wrong with you? Why are you being so difficult? Why are you being so difficult and not doing what I ask you to do? Yes, excellent. Well, we got another two episodes coming up. That wise, I can't. This is a weird camera. It's so sensitive. There we go. We got another two episodes coming up. I haven't edited them yet because my editing guy's on a job in Tenerife, but it is going to happen. So there you go. Um, Strange week for me. What did I do last? What about this? It's Tuesday today. So I always have to go to the UK because that's where we manufacture all of the supplements, yeah, all of these things that are lying around all over the place. Mahoney meds, Mahoney supplements, health world for you. So once every 6 weeks or so, I go back to the factory and I see what madness is going on there, because we're always formulating new stuff. So that's why I go back to the UK. I don't actually like going back there. And if you're from the UK, no offense, so am I, kind of, but it's just not my place. I don't feel the energy. And I did a quick couple of recordings there about I can't seem to connect. I find a bit of a blockage when I go back there. And when I'm talking about connecting, it's this. Okay, so for example, I'll get in my car in the mornings in Spain. The sun is up. It's a beautiful day. Palm trees. Now all the oranges are on the trees. You can't eat them, but they're there. They look amazing. And I'm just so energetically connected to where I'm living. I've been here 30 years, A lot of history here for me. And I will never leave Andalusia. I absolutely, with all of my soul, love it every time, every minute, every day I'm here. And I'm absolutely blessed. God loves me because He's blessed me with so many gifts and where I'm living and my lifestyle. I mean, I don't know anybody that lives like me. It's ridiculous. And the shit I get up to, the stuff I get up to is crazy. So I find it difficult to connect um, in the UK because it's just so busy and it kind of miserable and grey. And I miss the sun. But I had a nice experience there because my partner there, he's a great guy, born again Christian. So we do things like I stay at his house when I'm always there, and we hold hands. His wife and myself hold hands when we have a meal and we pray. And it was always a little bit awkward before because you see the thing about going back to God and finding your way back there, or maybe it's the first time you've been there. I always feel a little bit two-faced, because I'll tell you a story. My stories are always the best way I can relate incidents. When I was around 26, 28, something like that, I got hired to deliver a small yacht from the UK to Spain. And I was in the yacht business. I was working on a boat when I was 20, yeah, 27 as an engineer. So I'm a very good sailor. Grew up with sailboats. I've been across the Atlantic twice, and I did a lot of that in my youth. I haven't really talked about that before, but there you go. Another side to me that you didn't know. So I grew up with boats, but I'm not into them. I wouldn't have one if you gave me one. I'd sell it and give the money to somebody else to do something. So because I grew up with them, it's something I'm just yeah. And so anyway, I got hired by this company to go and help deliver it. It was a Beneteau, 38-foot Beneteau, and we headed out in about late September, early October, across the Bay of Biscay, and it was a captain and the first mate, and then myself. It was just I was the shipmate, doing all the other bits and pieces, standing in for the watch and doing the navigation and whatever you need to do on that. So it was a 5 day gig. And as we got out in the Bay of Biscay, the weather started getting rough. So I said to the skipper, I said, "Did you check the weather report as we left? Because the Bay of Biscay is at the south of England. You go straight across down to the coast of northern Spain and France." He said, "Yeah, yeah, check the weather report." Anyway, a huge storm blew in within about 6 hours of us being in the middle of this damn Bay of Biscay. And it's notorious for this. The weather changes very rapidly. They call it the Widowmaker. And our boat was going like this and like this. And when you're in rough weather, if you don't know about it, all you can do is keep your nose into the waves. So you're going up and the whole boat shudders. And we had the radio on. As we were coming up, I could hear on the radio, Mayday, Mayday, um, shipping containers lost overboard. And then as we're going up again, Mayday, 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 Maydays everywhere. It's like, holy shit, man. So these two lost it. And one of the captains started putting on his life jacket and was saying, "Oh, this we're going to die, we're going to die." And then the other one, the first mate, who I'd taken as to be a bit more masculine and a bit more, yeah, fuck, right? He'd roll his cigarettes, swearing and all. He was on his knees in the cabin downstairs in the galley praying, "Please, Jesus, God save me. I don't want to die." And I thought to myself at that moment, I thought, you know what? When was the last time that you'd ever beseeched and called the name of God or Jesus to save you? Because this is the sort of behavior that really annoys me. It's these moments of absolute and utter despair when you think you're going to die. You call on this guy now to save you, to come and help you now, and you haven't talked to him for 20 odd years and spent your entire life sinning and messing about and doing dark things in the shadows. We've talked about shadow events before. We'll probably touch on it again tonight. And I just found that really two-faced. And it struck me like, you fucking two-faced. I'm trying, I don't know why. It's twice I've nearly slept the F word out. So that particular incident, what happened was I got on the wheel and I said, strap my hands to the wheel. So I had to steer through the waves. And they fed me whiskey and peanuts for about 30 hours until we crossed into Spain and dumped me in a hotel room with my money and passport there. And I slept for about another 24 hours. I was so exhausted. Every muscle in my body had to carry me off the boat because, I was the biggest guy there. None of these idiots could do it. But I saved us. We made it through the storm, which is another big thing why you'll hear me say, you'll make it through the storm. The dark clouds will clear. Because that night and in that storm was probably the first times in my life I remember feeling the hand of God over me and protecting me. And I wasn't worried. I was laughing because I was that drunk on all the whiskey they were pouring. Literally, I couldn't take my hands off the wheel, saying, "Throw some peanuts, get some whiskey in me." And whiskey does keep me awake. I'm not a lazy drunk on whiskey. I'm very active, usually mischievous, winding people up. But that's the first time I really felt the hand of God coming over me and the power of God too, like the ocean and what God can make that thing do. It's like astounding. It's so beautiful one minute and it'll kill you the next. And I'm very, very careful and respectful of the ocean. And I don't go onto it much. If I get invited on a boat, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not going to do that. It's not my thing. Why does it look like I've got cleavage tonight? It's shadow. Looks like I had some breast work done in England over the weekend. Or did I go to Istanbul? So, yeah, that was the first time, really. But in my particular case history, my life history, there's only one time I remember, and that was recently, that I've ever asked God for anything. And in the spiritual world, they say, ask the universe for what you want. And it's a big thing about manifesting. Manifest what you want, manifest abundance, manifest a new job, manifest a new partner, manifest health. Manifestation is an extremely powerful entity, a force that we all have inside us. I'm going to go back to that, but I've never, and I promise you, I've never really asked the universe for anything until recently, until recently, Because I always thought, 'cause there's way more important people, more desperate people than me. Oh, please let me win the lottery. No, I don't respect anything unless I earn it myself and I do it myself. My father told me, he said, "You're a great big strong bastard and you've got a really big brain and a really gobby mouth on you. You've got the blarney touch. Sure, why should I leave you any inheritance of houses and money? Sure, you earn it off your own back and your own mouth yourself." And he was right. And I laughed about that. My father left literally with about $500 in his account. He just enjoyed his money, didn't leave anything, just enough for the funeral. And I like that. I like that. Yeah, my father was a really he was a soft-spoken man. He never hit me once. Never his entire life. My mother was brutal, but we kind of deserved it most of the time, but you know. But the hand of God, the hand of God. So the universe, I've never asked for it for anything. And some of the people I've been involved with, and romantically and friendly, and all these other people say, "Do you never ask why is your life so like this?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know because I question it every day." And I'm sure there's people that are close to me that'll say, "Yeah, he does." You know, he says, "Why me? Why me?" So I've always kind of known there was something that I had to. I was being blessed for a reason. But I was also being educated for a reason because some of the situations I've been in, nobody's been in. You know, I've lived 10 lives. You know, I've literally done everything from sailing across the Atlantic. I was a carpenter when I was 18 in the States, building houses. Then I had the whole film career. Then I had the old aviation stuff going on. You were messing about with the airplanes, which is great. Um, and now into this journalism that we were doing during COVID, and now this. And that's just, you know, those real estate and then the medical stuff that I've learned about and developed. You know, I've got over 40 products now. 40. It started from one, and I've plowed into it all of that energy. But I'll absolutely be honest. They send me what I'm supposed to make. The universe, God, spirit, whoever you want to call it, the great creator, they send me what I should produce in pills. All of these. I've got loads on the desk here. I'll shake them up for you. Shake them up. 40 different products now. We sell them all over the world. And when they're banned and prohibited in countries because they work, they keep trying to take me down. It never, ever works. I get government agencies coming at me left, right, and center, and I beat them all. And I beat them all because I'm being protected by the hand of God. I absolutely believe it now. I mean, you know me for years, most of you, and I used to talk like this. Yeah, I touched on it, but I never got into it this way because I've come to understand what I'm supposed to do. And it's brilliant. So manifesting and talking and beseeching God, it's like not, it was not my thing. It's not my thing, not my thing. The only story I told you about recently, I was like, please, God, take this horrible energy I've got, this broken heart, this deception, this betrayal energy, take it out of me because it's just interfering with everything that I'm trying to do. And it took 1 hour to get a text message from that person. And what I read in the text message, I was like, oh my God, thank you. I really threw my head back and said, you know what? It's exactly what I wanted to see and hear and understand because they didn't know they put all these hidden messages in the words that we're writing, but they might as well written something completely different because I saw through every single line, every single word, and I was like, yeah, I know exactly who you are and what is going on here. And now my direction is very clear what I have to do next. So, and there's no vengeance in any of these words. You know, the people that have betrayed me, it's love and light. Honestly, I feel sorry for them because why would doing it to somebody that's only ever given them love and respect and help? It's like the worst thing you could do. You know, if you're a son of a bitch and you're out in the gambling and cheating and messing around and, you know, casinos and you're an alcoholic and a drug addict, yeah, man, you're going to expect it for people to sort of turn their backs on you. But not when you put in love and genuine, heartfelt devotion and respect. I mean, that's it. But what I'm understanding now is that this is all part. I needed to understand this to be able to move on. So I made some notes as well. I got some notes. We're going to go back to the notes I've been doodling, scribbling. So where I'm going with all of this ramble is that you just don't know. You know, for example, if you're seeing red flags in situations and you're like, oh, I don't know, you know, it goes back to the storm. You're in the middle of a storm most of the time in your life, but the storm clears and God will guide you through that. You know, spirit, the great, whatever you want to call him, he'll guide you through that if you have faith in him. And that particular night in the storm, I wasn't thinking about it. I was watching the other guy praying and I was like, and I remember distinctly thinking, I won't say it on camera, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you two-faced yellow son of a bitch, get up here and help me. Get on the radio, batten down the hatches, put all the pots and pans away. So we're not gonna, you know, we couldn't even cook because you can't cook in a boat and it's going like this. And we're in a 4-7, big storm in a small boat. So, and there's been so many occasions in my life where God's protected me. He's just taken me out. You know, bear with me, guys. Bear with me, because I know this is nuts. He's taken me out of situations like I've nearly died so many times on motorcycles, doing 100 miles an hour on a motorcycle and the front tire blows out. Are you going to survive it? I was only wearing a shirt and a helmet, no leather jacket. I rolled down the highway, ended up landing on my feet with no traffic hit me, like I'm some sort of crazy stuntman facing the traffic like a great big da drowning, falling off a cliff. You know, I climbed up a castle cliff once and I couldn't hang on anymore. The muscles are gone, no more muscle energy. And it was nighttime, and I thought, this is it. I'm going to die because it was pure ragged rocks below. This is an island when I was about 17 and stupid. And at that time, I let go. I thought, I'm gone. I can't hold on anymore. And as I let go off the cliff, a wave came up, a rogue wave just came up and grabbed me like that and took me out away from all the jagged rocks. Amazing story. Picked me up and took me out a little bit to sea. And I came out of the water with a one giant breath like that and realized it was a summer's night. So it was the moon was out. I think it was still light, but I was like, holy shit, man, I should have been dead. I swam back to the shore. And in that moment, I didn't give thanks to God either. I didn't say, oh my God, thank you. I just went, Jesus, that was lucky, wasn't it? Jeez, that was amazing. Nobody believed me. So no, I was right there. They said, nah, fuck, there's no way. Like, there's no way. You die, like, you die. It wasn't a stormy night. The waves weren't there. It was just a normal sort of crashing on the rocks below. But something just came and took me, a huge bit of water, and just took me out. So all of these incidents I've been reviewing in my life because I'm now at a point where I have to think, okay, what's next? So I've been getting guidance and I do know where I'm going. Is it time to talk about? I can hint on it. I can hint on it, but we'll get to that. So if you're one of these people that are reluctant, like I am, to all of a sudden go back to find your spiritual connection, because life gets complicated. You get distracted. You get into relationships. You get into work situations. You get your kids grow up and nobody talks to you. And where I'm going with that is one of the videos I put out, it said, send me your questions and I'll come up with a video about it. So I opened up the microphone and I said, okay, guys, if you'd like me to talk about something specific, I'll open up the microphone and I'll talk about it. But I never really got anything wow. I got good ones, but I didn't get, oh, that's the one. And it struck me as like either people are lazy, could be, or it also struck me as that just people don't know because they don't really know what to ask the universe. And again, in that energy that I used to be in, oh no, well, I don't like to bother you now. And, I'm sure you have many other things to do. You're getting hundreds of millions and billions of prayers and emails, prayers from people every day. Please, God, help me. Especially from people living in Africa and third world countries, South America, living in violent, narcotraficante, peligroso países en el todo el mundo. If you don't know what that means, it means living in dangerous countries around the world. So I didn't feel like I wanted to bother him with my silly little things, because there's never really been anything in my life that I said, oh please, like no big illness or sickness. Even when my mother got cancer, I said, it was her decision that she wanted to die. She could have lived longer, but she just stopped taking the medicines, and she went pretty quickly. Um, so. what I got from those messages is that it was a there was some nice questions. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being ungrateful, or I'm not um unwarranting. Is that a word? Unwarranting the effort and time that people have put in. And have you noticed I answer? I read all the comments and I'll answer them, even if it's just a tick in a heart. If I feel like I need to write more, I'll write more. But I answer all the comments and all the videos. I don't ignore you guys. And a few people have texted me as well, sending text messages, and I answer them. So the point is, don't feel bad about asking God for help, because all of the scriptures teach us that He loves us. And that you might stray from the path. And again, this is not coming from a guy that goes to church. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. I'm not, what do you call it? I'm not that guy. I'm just a middle-aged guy that's just regurgitating, getting it out of his system. But all of the preachings, because I was raised Catholic and I remember a lot of the Bible stuff, all of the teachings tell us that God loves you. So ask Him, but you have to mean it, and don't bother Him with, can you make me win the lottery? No. Say, God, I'm really struggling to pay my bills here. I'm a single mother with two, three, four kids, and every month it's a real struggle to keep the bills and the lights on and the food in the fridge, and also keeping an eye on my kids that they're not going to run rogue because the father's not around. Please, God, can you just maybe send me something to help me? Okay, that's it. It's not, I want to win the lottery and buy a huge house and a Lambo and sail around the world in a yacht with a supermodel. You've got to ask the right things, and it's got to come from your soul. It's got to come from your heart. These are things. That's a really good example. Please, God, I'm so tired of living alone. There's so much love inside me for the right person. Please, can you send me someone that's going to appreciate who I am? And as I get into the autumn years of my life, I can share some of these beautiful moments with somebody that deserves to spend time with me. Yeah. These are the type of things that you should say for illness and sickness as well. Please, God, I don't understand why my child is so sick. Either, you know, provide me with cure him, help him, get over it. Or he will eat, and he does work in very mysterious ways. We cannot even begin to fathom the great plan that he's got for all of us, because it's too generational. You might do something tomorrow and it might just come to fruition 20 generations down the line. So I went to, is this all making sense? You guys all following me? Yeah. I hope this is not doing your heads in. I think this is flowing pretty smoothly, really. And this is channeling. This is just coming from here, guys. You know me for years. It's like, okay, I'm going to play another video, another video. This is channeling. This is him working through me, his voice to you, to wherever you're listening from. I'm just checking. I'm not making you reach for the bottle tonight. Oh, I'll have another glass of wine. This guy's losing it. He's losing it live with Mahoney. So I go to this born again Christian church in the UK. I wasn't really enthusiastic, but I went to support my friend and I thought, okay, let's have a little look. So I sat at the back and I didn't sit with them, and they made me be the meter and greeter on the door and say, well, who's this guy? And the first thing is, oh, this is my friend from Spain. I'm like, don't tell him that. It's just gonna piss him off. Just say it's an old friend of mine. Okay, here we go. So they all start coming in. I'm saying good morning. And I have a thing about when I meet people. My mother used to do this. And I love this about being half of my heritage is from the UK. When you meet somebody, you shake their hand. It's an older person. You say, how do you do? How do you do? Or how do you do? I love that. It's so old-fashioned, but I really have something about it I love. And I've started using it more and more. And it takes people back, actually, because nobody uses it anymore. How do you do? I do very well. How do you do? Instead of saying, "Hey, you're all right there, lad, what's up? You're lovely, yeah, nice weather." People have hi, hiya. That's another one that gets someone. You all right? How do you do? Is a very formal way to say a greeting in England. And it's a handshake. In Spain, we kiss everybody in the cheek. And I like that, getting there for a little hug. Come here. I like that. So anyway, I watched as the sermon. It was very relaxed. There isn't a guy in a robes, and it's not one of the sort of traditional Church of England or Catholic. It's just people dressed normally. And the the main speaker gets up, and they go through the whole thing, and then they're singing. They have some, and I knew some of the songs, but they got the TVs on and you can follow it. But I just sat there and I deliberately didn't cross my arms because that's kind of a balancing thing for me when I get stand up. I've got my arms, so I've been doing this now, holding my hands like this because my hands heat up when I'm channeling, and they are now. They're heating up. You'll see me doing this is to get into it. But I watched the entire sermon for an hour and a half. I was there 2 hours with the meet and greet. So it was an hour and 15, hour, 20 minutes, the whole sermon. And I watched as people in the congregation tuned in and made their own communicational channel with their God. And it's quite a moving experience because I couldn't connect. I mean, I could have if I forced myself, but I was too busy observing and seeing how other people are doing. And people holding their hands up like this. People are holding them out there like this, eyes closed, and they're singing. You know, and then halfway through the sermon, but towards the end, they do the ceremony with the bread and the wine, the body of Christ and the blood of Christ. I didn't do it because um, I find it a little bit. Do I need that? It's I would have felt a little bit bigot, two-faced all of a sudden. Hello, Jesus, can I have some bread again? So I didn't do it just because it didn't feel right to me. But then you got to turn around and talk to the woman next to me. She says, "Oh, I'll move over," because he says, "Right, talk to the person next to you while we're doing this." So, okay. So the woman comes over, sits next to me. A lovely woman, a retired teacher from Scotland. And I said, "Oof, that must have been rough in Glasgow with those kids." She said, "You know what? A lot of them never made it, but for the 5 to 15% that we actually taught and they could read and they left school and had a chance, it was a very fulfilling life for me." And really nice 15-minute conversation with lovely energy coming up. And the whole experience to me, what did I learn? I learned that some people need to go to church to talk and connect with Creator. I don't. I need to be alone because I find it all distracting all of the what what's going on now and then the new song coming up I'm supposed to sing. But it works for some people. It worked for these people. They enjoyed it. And it's a community. It's a community. And those kids running around as well. It was lovely. But I learned that day that I don't need anywhere to connect in. I can do it wherever I need to do it, wherever the calling is, wherever I feel I need to. And I feel it rush into me sometimes. It goes, and I start laughing, saying, "Come on, let's get the music up, spirit. Let's put the foot down, 100 miles an hour." He kind of likes it. Although he did puncture my car recently, he said, "You better slow down because, I can't be a fast driver." So I drive very powerful. I have to finish that now. I drive a powerful car most of the time. Um, and I know exactly because I do all my maintenance myself. I know exactly. And tires to me, maximum 1 year, they're gone. New tires. I have a thing about tires. And this was under a year. It was just bad luck. The message was to slow down, which is where I'm going next on this ramble. How are we doing on time? We half an hour already. Jeez. So any questions, guys? You got anything in the Q&As? Maria, yeah, but I'm behind on emails. I will get back to them. As Jody as well was looking for me. I really forgot. I actually couldn't get on my emails in the UK. It didn't like my IP address. So, where am I going next? I recorded a video at the airport, and then I put the pub video on the ghost story. That's a good one. I'll go back to that too. And then I get my headphones on, and I've been listening to a lot of it's music, yes, but I've been listening to a lot of sort of podcast things that come on my feed, about my particular journey. Not geopolitical. I would definitely say all spiritual. So I went to the gate, and there's two gates really close together. My gate was this side or that side, whatever you want to say. Basically, I got so enthralled in this podcast from this spiritual stuff, I missed my flight, missed it. And I went up there. I said, "Where's the Malaga flight?" She said, "Oh, it's gone. Are you David?" I said, "Yes." She said, "We've been calling you for 20, 25 minutes." I said, "I've been sat there." She says, "I came up there and looked at you, and you just gave me a nod hello because I couldn't hear it. I was so concentrating." And I wrote down a lot of the messages. That's what I was doing. I missed my flight. So I'm going to talk about the Trinity. You remember I've got something called the ugly Trinity. I did a video on deceit, deception, and betrayal. The ugly Trinity. It always comes in threes. There's funny things about spirit. Threes and sevens are important. Seven deadly sins, for example. Seven comes up a lot in the Bible, if you've noticed. But the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So number one, I missed the flight, and I wasn't angry about it because I was like, "Come on, let me on. It's right there. I can still get on it. It's not." We pulled your luggage off, sir, because coming back from the UK, I always bring with me. You know what I mean? Because from the factory. So I was like, "Oh, all right, I'm not going to argue." Um, So she says, I have to walk you down to security now. Nice young girl from the airline. And we chatted for a little bit. She says, Well, you're not very angry. I said, No. I said, No, I'm not angry. I said, My own fault. Not your fault, my fault. You did the best you could. And I'm thankful, grateful for that. I said, But now, she said, Well, what are you going to do? I said, I'll just get on another flight tomorrow. Just go and get a hotel. No big deal. And let's see why I'm supposed to be here. What is the lesson learned? Because if I don't bump into somebody really interesting and there's like a fabulous bit of intel or spiritual stuff that this man's gonna, or woman or person, whoever, it could be a kid that's gonna send me up and go, I never realized, like you can see it on a t-shirt. Reading signs is really important, guys. And in that situation, I said, okay, it's a sign. Not supposed to be on that flight. Maybe it's gonna crash. Thank God it didn't. Everything was fine. But I'm not supposed to be on that flight. Maybe I'm going to sit next to somebody really interesting tomorrow on my flight. Maybe I'm going to meet someone in the hotel when I'm having dinner. Maybe I'm going to stand next to somebody in the shuttle bus. I didn't care. I honestly didn't care. You know, financially, it was about $250 a whole inconvenience, but it's okay. I'll win that from somewhere else. I never worry about expensive because the path that I'm being shown and leading on, it's just finding a way, you know? And again, I was very wise that I have seven different businesses, guys, seven businesses, right? So financially, I'm very stable. And again, he loves me. But I don't do stupid things with it. I don't buy designer clothes. I have a confession. I bought $100 copy watch in Hong Kong and I can't wear it. I just don't like watches. This thing, if it was real, would be about 80 grand, I think. It's what's it called? Audemars PK. I mean, and it's a really good copy, but I'm going to give it away to somebody. I felt sorry for the Chinese guy because he hadn't any sales that day. He said, "Oh, what about watch?" I was like, "I don't like it. I got nine. What your $100?" But it really is a good copy. Yeah, I'll never wear it. Not into watches. Um, where's my point going now? Where was I? At the airport. So I get to the hotel and the two check-in girls, very friendly, very nice. The hotel room was nice. Had dinner downstairs, wasn't great, but was okay. Again, thankful for a meal. Had to get up at 3:45 a.m. So I passed out around 11:30. So I had no sleep. Get to the airport, check in, no problems upstairs. Get on this flight now. Absolutely. Had three seats to myself, so not sitting next to anybody. And I didn't meet anybody interesting the whole journey. So there was no hidden messages. There was no hidden secret meetings, no amazing breakthrough formulas being passed to me secretly. I've got a recipe for you. No. What's the lesson? We'll get to that because it's Trinity. And I know bad luck things come in threes. So I'm thinking to myself, what's next? Or was it just a one-off because it's your own stupid fault? Because I'm very blasé in airports. I do so much flying. I can time it perfectly. Okay, all right. I know the gate. Yeah, I can just stroll on as the last passenger and choose my own seat. Usually, if I can get an emergency exit, I'm got it down to a fine art. But my arrogance made me miss the flight. and listening and getting too enthralled. And okay, so I'll give you a clue. This is all about attention. This is about paying it. The lesson here for me is just they just sent that to me now. Paying attention. You get distracted. Pay attention. Okay. So I was cold at the airport and I bought a hoodie from a sports store. I thought it's 35 quid or something. So I bought, get that. And it has a label on it. And it's annoying. Scratch label. So it's one of those. I thought it was just string. So I tried to bite through it and I chipped a tooth because I've got veneers on the bottom. I know you think I got amazing natural teeth. They're not. I have veneers here. And I pulled it. This veneer popped out. I caught it in my mouth. So I was like, is it cracked? It wasn't. It just because they glue them over your existing tooth after they file them down. So I put it back in and it stayed in the whole flight. And all day today until I went to the dentist, he glued it back in. Job done. So that's number two. Why did that happen? Because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't thinking, okay, you got veneers here. Maybe you should be, because I've had them on for quite a while and I've never had a problem with them. Okay. So that's number two. Get through customs super fast. The plane landed right there. And it's always a problem when going through customs because the amount of bullshit that they've got registered on the Spanish police system for me, it takes me 15, 20 minutes to go through because they're just going like this and they're looking, they're reading it and saying, this can't be right. I've even got one for um, ammunition, arms, and explosives from 25 years ago when they found a firearm, a shotgun, in an old storage room of mine that I hadn't had for 3 years, but they decided it was my stolen shotgun hidden in this. And it's still on my record now from 2001, even though the judge dismissed it, saying it's not his. He hasn't been in there for 3 years. So, anyway, so I get through all immigration and get to baggage control. Phone rings. Hi, mate, what's going on? Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, I'll do it because my phone never stops buzzing and ringing because I've got 7 different businesses, and luckily I've got managers in place for all of them, project managers mostly, and or admin, but it's always ringing. I try to pass it all through, but they all want to talk to me ultimately. So one bag comes out, throw that on. Throw the second bag on, all good. Ring up the shuttle service to take me back to where I park my car. He's literally outside the door when I get there. I'm like, fantastic, because I normally have to wait 20 minutes. Pick up bag number one, throw it in. Bag number two, hang on a second. What's this tartan ribbon? You know what you tie your hair. What's this shit on my bag? Realize I picked up somebody else's bag. And bearing in mind, there's some vital stuff that I need in my bag. I'm like, I've already gone all the way through customs and security. So I'm like, so anyway, I tell a woman, take my bags to the car. They know me very well. And I rush back through, and the security guard, normally they're like miniature Hitler. No, 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 no. I said, in Spanish, I said, it's not my bag. I picked up the wrong bag. He said, okay. I was like, wow, that was easy. Well, thank you again. And then I get to the carousel. There's nobody there except this one guy, poor guy, scratching his head, saying, I don't speak Spanish. All my holiday clothes are gone. And I saw him. I think it's got to be him. I said, are you missing a bag, mate? He says, yeah, there it is. What are you doing with it? But he was so nice because he just bought an apartment. He was coming to pick up the keys. And I said, look, I'm so sorry. And my bag was there. Nobody picked mine up. So we walked and I explained the situation. So we literally had the exact same suitcase. Exactly the same, apart from he'd put some tartan ribbon on it. And check my name now is the theme here. So the hidden message in that is slow down, pay attention to what's going on around you. Never mind the bullshit phone calls about all of that. That can wait. You need to focus on what's going on and what's more important now, because all the other stuff can wait. And what a great lesson that was that Spirit sent to me. And it's in threes. Remember the Trinity. And I said, because I'm like, okay, is this because this happens to me a lot? I get spiritually attacked now because of what I'm talking about and encouraging people to come out. You got to imagine the stuff that I'm talking about is very, very good. And the darkness does not want me to wake people up and reach inside through this television or through this computer system and activate something and say, stop with the gambling addictions and the drugs and the messing about in your partner, become a better person. The devil doesn't want me to talk about that. The devil wants me shut up. And they try to shut me up many times. I've been told, I've discovered from messages and various other things, they've tried everything in their power to shut me up, and I will not be quiet. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I had a message from an old Hooner yesterday, saying, your spiritual security is the strongest we've ever come across because we tried to contact you in that world to give you some energy. We were sending you energy. And as soon as we tuned in to try to tune into you, we were met with a force of aggression from, I'm sleeping at the time. It wasn't, I was conscious. He said, we were met with such a force of aggression because we tried to tap into your energetic fields while you were sleeping. We got such a fright and they realized that we were doing it in the force of good. But I was laughing. I said, yeah, I've been told that before. I didn't know until recently that my entire security team in the Astra are, you got to understand, like absolutely brutal. No second chance, no questions. If you come anywhere near me with malintentions or nefarious ideas or intentions, they will take you out and you will be put into a state of karma that will come after you. And it's sevenfold karma. So you do one bad thing to me, the same energy, they will take that and amplify it by seven because it's seven, remember? Biblical seven. So I was laughing about it. I was saying, I'm really sorry, just have to bring me in. We can talk. We were only trying to do something nice for you, Mahoney. So the lesson is pay attention to what's going on around you. And now I'm going to read some notes. Okay? Because I took some notes about things that people were asking me about. Um, and here's the main one. Because there's one, whether it's a lost love or you've got no luck, why is my life so hard at times? Um, and I said, okay, what can I boil that down to in one sort of heading? And it's basically you're stuck on something. There's some energetic blockage with what you are looking for and what you desire. And this goes back to asking the universe for help, remember? So many times people misinterpret red flags and they ignore them. Let's give you an example. Um, okay, you're raising a teenage son, and the red flags are he's coming in late, his clothes are smelling weird, obviously marijuana, you know where I'm going, but he's moody and he's like, snappy, so or he's hanging around the wrong guys, and those are red flags about his behavior and the way that he's on the path that he's walking. And you as a parent have the obligation to say, okay, Daniel or Peter or Susan, whatever, I need to talk to you about something. I've noticed some things. And parents often, oh, let them get on with it. Don't ignore red flags because they're there for a reason. And if you ignore them and you put up with them, then fool you. You're the fool. I'll let them go on with it. It's all right. You'll grow out of it. Address the problem. Face your fears. I understand how difficult teenagers are. I was very lucky. My son was never like that. He's an absolute angel, my son. In his entire growing up period, we never had to ground him once. He never did anything wrong. He was always respectful because we preempted a lot of things. Preempted a lot of things. So red flags, don't ignore them because you can misinterpret them. And misinterpretation is also a mistake. You know, it's a red flag, but are you going to do anything about it? Again, that's down to you. And this is how your life is. You have a series of choices to make. You have a series of choices to make. And many people, and I heard this from the person that hurt me. This person said it was a case of the fuck-its, David. That is no excuse. Oh, fuck it. Fuck it is no excuse. That's the devil whispering on your shoulder. I mean, I've experienced it, but I've never actually gone through that. Like, fuck it, you know. All right. Yeah, yeah, I mean, I have, but not. It's like it's only ever backfired on me. It's never backfired on somebody else. The day I was walking across the border from San Diego, San Isidro, into the USA, and they threw me in jail for 2 months, trying to charge me with a threat to the security of the USA. I knew what I was doing was wrong. I didn't need to do it. It was my own ego, my own arrogance testing the security system because I had a new passport and I didn't think they were going to link the old passport number and the fingerprints, but because they went from tourist to terrorist, they're putting me on a different list. So it was my own arrogance that screwed me that day because I had a case of the fuck. Ah, fuck it, I'm going to try it. Do not use that expression because that is an expression that's going to get you into trouble. Say, no, no, think about things because you all have your little inner red flag warnings and it's lighting up in your soul. You know what? Oh, I'm just going to have one more drink. Fuck it. You'll get a red flag, a soul alarm warning, or you know what? It's only one line of Coke. I did it 5 years ago. I'll have another line. It's okay. I didn't die. You get a red flag warning here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's God acting to try to guide you on the path. If you ignore it and then you start complaining about the consequences afterwards, you know that is true. You're sitting there now and remembering a case where you did that. The fuck it's. It's the devil's words. It's not God's words. God's words are imprinted in your soul. And at that moment, when you're saying, ah, it's just one joint extra, it's one drink extra, I'll stay out another hour. My wife, she's already angry. Fuck it. Your soul knows, and you're misinterpreting the signals and you're ignoring the red flags. And ultimately, who is going to get hurt at the end of it? You and everybody that's involved in that particular scene. And then we get into the case of, oh, well, it's not my fault and this and that. And, accountability. People don't take accountability. You know what? I'm so sorry. I got so carried away. I bumped into my ex-girlfriend. I haven't seen her for 5 years. She looked amazing. She said the right thing. And one thing led to another and fuck it. I just thought, fuck it, why? And now she's pregnant. And she's a psycho, you know? Oh, she's a lot psycho. The fuck it moments in your life are the moments that are gonna fuck you up. That's why it's called a fuck it moment. Because it's there to test your soul connection. It's there to test your integrity. Why can people not understand this? It's there to test your integrity, to see what sort of moral compass and moral line you have when you get the fuck it moments. It's like, I'm about to fuck it up, is what you should be saying. Enough said? Do you get that now? I hope so. Because, oh my God, he's really moving through me. I feel him tonight. This is great. None of this is scripted either. I couldn't have done this last year. There's no way I could have done this. In the old days, at the start, I'd have a couple of whiskeys and just start telling stories and goofing around. Saying, have you seen this idiot? Come on, Lee, let's talk about him. But not on this spiritual stuff. There's no way I could have done it. So remember these words, guys. The fuck it moment is when the devil is talking to you. He's gonna fuck it up for you. He's gonna fuck up your life. He's gonna fuck up your relationships. He's gonna fuck up your tomorrows. And then when you're left with your life in shambles and the people around you hurt, people that you love around you hurt, then you go looking for excuses. Well, it wasn't my fault, you told me this and that, you never loved me. You're always looking for excuses because you can't take accountability. That's another huge thing, but I'll get into accountability on another one. Satan, get behind me. Yeah. No, I'd rather have Satan in front of me than behind me because I can see him. But I tell you what, I've been told Satan's scared of me. He has a thing about me. He's very careful with me. I actually have a video I'm going to play at the end of it that about all of the seven deadly sins. I didn't know this. I came across this. The seven deadly sins of specific demons attached to their fucking name. Oops, now I'm in the mood for swearing. I'm going to stop swearing. Yeah? I'll play it as we get into the last 10 minutes. I'll find it. So I've got some other notes I'm going to do. Um, red flags, don't ignore them. They're missing or misinterpret them. Um, the markers that you face, these are the like reference points on your journey, which will get into that as well. So the red flags are markers that you have to address. What else have I written on there? Um, false prophets online. Yeah, stop listening to idiots. Here's the other thing. I had a message from one saying, I want to say it's Jackie, but I don't think it was Jackie. She says, I work with a lot of stupid people at work that are not on the same wavelength as me. So I said, are you talking about like geopolitical and COVID? Or I'm talking about spiritual. She said both. I said, well, look, the easiest thing to do on that is when they say something like, oh, digital IDs are going to be brilliant. You can't say, no, they're going to be terrible. And, it's going to put us all into slavery. It's the mark of the beast. It's the mark of the beast. Beelzebub, the devil, Prince of Darkness, Lucifer, all of that, mark of the beast. Oh, here we go, you religious nutcase. So the easiest thing to do is, I like doing this. When somebody just says something really stupid to me, I just turn around and I just do this. I just stare at them, like, and then they get uncomfortable because if you have a good soul, your eyes meet with their eyes. You'll notice that they pull their eyesight away. They can't look at you because you're looking straight into their soul saying, you're an idiot, more or less. Try that. And if you do need to say something, just say, where are you getting your information from? Oh, I watched it on the news. BBC that are getting sued. They're probably going to lose their entire BBC corporation establishment because they've been proven to be liars and editing real stories. Is that where you're getting your news from? I wouldn't even go as far as that. Just give them a look. Just look at them. Stare their soul out. You see how well that works. Um, False prophets online, guys. I want to talk about this because, yeah, stop listening to idiots. Because I'll tell you one thing I've noticed, and I've actually been warned about not to talk about this, but again, these warnings don't work, do they? How many websites of all of these so-called spiritual gurus, baby, are actually free? None of them. None of them. I understand that they need to make a living if they're going to devote all their time to it. But did you notice what I did during all of the broadcasts? I have the insiders like this sort of specialized gang, and some people, I've no idea how many people are paying $10 a month because I made it free. I said, if you would like to donate $10 a month to continue the work, and I'm doing outside broadcast, I'm flying to Egypt and Mexico, I'm going all over the UK and Ireland. I was there with you know who filming, and then in Egypt again with her. We were all over the place out of my pocket and hers too, obviously. But we put all that content out there for free because the message involved in these videos is way more important than trying to get $10 a month from somebody. So the point is, I've noticed that there's so many people out there who are trying to help you on the spiritual journey, innit, mate? But none of their stuff is free. And I tell you, there's two sides to this. The second side of it is more nefarious, more dark. And the dark side of it is because they want to control the narrative. Because imagine what I know about people's work and how false it is. And they tell you that they're amazing and godly and connected to source. And I'm channeling all sorts of things. I know they're full of shit. And I know they're not godly. And I know what they do in the shadows. And I know what sort of stuff they do when no one's looking. Yeah. I've told you about this before. And I'm not going to name names because I trust in God, in source, that will all be exposed. And the day it's exposed, you ask me about it, I'll say, yes. Yes, it's true. So I don't have to do shit. Stop swearing. I don't have to do anything because here's the thing. Imagine these people doing the shows, they have their little minions controlling who's in the chat. No, no, they're not on the list. They haven't been pre-approved. If your work is so godly and so connected to source, and the message that you're providing to people is so connected and so important for people's spiritual journey and a wake up, why are you censoring the people that can listen to it and the comments that they can put in there? It's because they know that there's people out there that know the truth and they want to control the people in these chat groups and these online shows and these YouTube channels and subscribe to me and whatever day of the week it is. Open up to people for free so the truth can be discussed. And I guarantee you guys, they will not do it because none of these people are who they say they are. There's very, very few of them out there, very few. And you'll know the ones that are, it's the ones that have got everything open and transparent. Be transparent. Yeah. Open up your doors, open up your columns in your chat rooms. And if your work is so godly and amazing, people will donate to you. You will be financially rewarded for your true, truthful content, connecting with source and getting the message to the people that need it the most. And you know I'm right. And I will not I cannot emphasize this the most. None of these people will come against me and call me for being a liar. I challenge any of you to challenge me and say, Mahoney, you're a liar. What you're talking is mistruthful. They will not. Because look in my eyes now, if you're watching, you know that I know. And I know because I've been watching and God knows. And you cannot hide anything from him. You can't, the whispers and the plotting and the planning, all of the bullshit you do behind the scenes and sneaking around, and, meeting people in bars and hotel rooms and whatever you're doing and buying stuff from little alleys. Yeah, using the money, misappropriating the funds, buying yourself expensive items, maybe private jets. I mean, that's a bit extreme, but it happens in the States. I don't think anybody of the ones that I'm talking about have that sort of money. In fact, I'm probably the most successful person out there that's been a truth talker. Me. And again, call me out on it. Me and Nicholas Vinyamin. And look at Nick's spiritual journey now. When people called him a weirdo little Greek guy that's probably sitting, living at home. Look at him. Nick has been extremely successful. He's been very, very clever with what he's done. And look at his spiritual journey, how he's been rewarded now. Nicholas Vinyamin. If you're not watching his stuff, you've got to watch his stuff because he is on track. He's amazing. So, false prophets. False prophets. You sit there on your thrones telling everybody how godly and how holy you are. And it's going to be spectacular when they all fall. And this is not me gloating about it. I've got no, actually, it sounds like I've got a personal beef with them. I don't. I just know about worshiping false idols. And this is who these people are. And this is what all their little followers and groups and online chat people are. They're worshiping false idols. And they're all going to come crumbling down before the truth will be revealed. And it won't be me that'll do it. That's the glory of it. On my soul, I'm not doing anything behind the scenes, manipulating or talking or making false accounts, nothing. I couldn't be bothered. I'm too busy, and my journey and my purpose is far more important than worrying about other people's bullshit because you're going to get it. You're going to get it. And I'm going to be, it's like, I'm going to send you love and light, guys. And you have the opportunity to change. You have the opportunity to change your tune. Open up, be transparent, give the message away for free. Don't charge people for trying to get closer to God and spirit and source. Let people make donations if they want to, if they're able to. But charging money, I've never done it. I've never done it. My stuff has always been free. You know that episode I made of Decoding Anders? It costs thousands to do that. I give it away for free because of the message involved. I give it away for free. I pay for it because I love doing it. It's a passion. I give it away for free. False prophets, you're all going to be punished by Creator. And you have the opportunity to change, and I'll leave it at that. Right? How am I doing, guys? Am I scaring you? um, I'm sorry, this is the new me. This is definitely an upgraded version. Holy shit, is this good fun? What else have I got on my list here? False prophets online, right? Um, what's this saying? Oh, you've got to learn to live outside of your wounds. We'll end up on this. That's the top of the hour, actually. We've all been wounded in this life journey. And whether it's a betrayal or a love situation, or just feeling like you've been held or you've been dealt a really bad hand of cards, disabilities, health issues, it's it is a challenge to get through every day. I understand that. And it's something that I find a little difficult because here's the thing. I have no addictions. I can smoke a whole pack of cigarettes and drink a bottle of whiskey and then not do it for a year. I don't find I need anything. I need love and I need a mission in life. I need to have something to focus on, something to do that's going to fulfill this in here. I'm going to put you on pause for 1 second, and that's my friend coming to pick. It's difficult for me to feel how you feel because you've got, say you're in a wheelchair. I'm not in a wheelchair. Say you have addictions. I don't have addictions. I struggle to understand alcoholism and drug addiction and gambling. I don't like gambling. It's not my thing. So I struggle with that. To show empathy, because for me it's very easy to just say, well, just get up off your ass and fix it. It's very easy for me to say that because I'm standing from a position I don't understand that. And but the addictions and all of these issues in your life, trying to live outside of the wounds, to understand, to sit at the table and play the cards because it has to change. So if you are struggling with any of these things, and I know many people are, financial issues, family issues, health issues, go back to what I said before at the very start of the show, which is where I'm going to end this on. Don't be a stranger to asking the big guy for help, but you have to come from the right heart. You can't just, oh, by the way, would you mind if I won the lottery? Figure out where your path is and what you really, really need, and take your time and feel into it properly and find the right moment and do it in a respectful way and say, listen, God, I haven't talked to you for a long time. I know I've been a stranger to you for many years, but I can feel you moving through me now. And I've come to understand what this energetic is. And I really need some help here. Try it. What you got to lose? But do not try it if you do not mean it. It's got to come from a place of sincerity and inside your heart and inside your soul. You've got nothing to lose, guys, and everything to gain. Try it. And again, I'm not a pastor or a preacher. I'm just a guy talking about the energetics and what I'm feeling. Yeah? Try it and see what happens. And that's it. I'm going to go for some dinner and have a glass of wine, and I'm going to enjoy the blessings that I've had bestowed upon me. But mark the words I've shared with you tonight. Rewatch this if you need to, but it's going to get stronger. And you've noticed this coming through as the days go by, who I'm becoming. And I tell you what, it's going to be a force to reckon with. I am going to expose some people and I'm going to wake up millions and get them on the right path by understanding the darkness is always with you, but you just have to learn to not listen to it. Remember what I said, red flags. Are you going to ignore them or are you going to address them? And the fuck it moments will fuck your life up. Don't do it. If you do, you're going to continue on that hamster wheel. If you want to be there, you be there. But I hope you find the courage and the energy and the connection to apply some of the things I've shared with you tonight. With much love, I'll see you on Friday. What am I going to be talking about? Who knows? But we'll see on Friday. Thank you guys for joining me. And I hope that it hasn't freaked you out too much, and there's something in here tonight that's resonates with you. It's gonna get better. And by the way, I've got an amazing next week on Tuesday. I'm going to be broadcasting from somewhere insane. That I'm flying next week again for a week. I'm going to be away for a week from the 15th to the 23rd, and I'm going to take you on a free journey and share with you because I'm a freebie guy, transparent and open, all the channels. I'm going to show you some amazing things next week. So trust me, I love you all, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you Friday. Bye bye.